I made a decision.
You made a choice?
I don't want to talk about the SEC.
Who do you pick?
Because if you're new to the podcast, back in the preseason and for many weeks thereafter, I made some pretty bold claims.
Now, normally to kick off the podcast, we do a little thing called Wheel Route, and we've kind of varied from that a little bit this year. But if you listened from the start of the season, we gave some pretty bold predictions for who we thought our conference champions were going to end up being. And boy, oh man, watching back, idiots, all of us.
The only thing that makes me feel good about this is the fact that, all the national media were just as wrong, at least nearly as wrong as we were, because that's the beauty of college football is that you think you have an idea, and then your number one preseason overall team and national title favorite loses to UCLA, right? I mean, it's crazy how this stuff happens. So with college football playoff rankings coming out this week, we record Monday mornings. Those rankings are out Tuesday night. We thought it might be worthwhile at the beginning of November to go back, do a little status check on our
see how well we know ball
on our conference champions and group of 5 champion, and make some adjustments ahead of the new college football playoff rankings. Let's start in the Big Ten, where I made a decision.
You made a choice
and took Penn State along with many other.
I thought they would be good. I'm not going to make fun of you too much because I did say they should.
Who did you take?
Oh, I took the Buckeyes.
Oh, that's right.
I took the Buckeyes, but I did say in that I went back and watched it and cringed a lot at some of the things that I said.
Yeah, well, because we didn't know anything.
We didn't know a lot, and we still don't.
Let me ask you this, since you did pick Ohio State, are you keeping Ohio State as your Big Ten pick?
Oh, for sure.
Okay. I'm going to take Indiana. One, because absolutely not will I take Ohio State in this. Number two.
Well, that just told me that you would if you were being smart about it.
Number two, we've talked a lot about, and we'll get more into this, we've talked about how I have not felt this year like there has been unbeatable death machine. Ohio State and Indiana, I'm ready to declare them unbeatable death machine territory. I mean, like those two teams, obviously Michigan still got their goals in front of them. They can still make the Big Ten championship game. Iowa can still get in. USC can still get in. But those are obviously the two front runners, and so I don't think there's a bad choice there. How about the Big 12? Because back in the preseason, I took Arizona State.
That's also same.
Which I think, the Big 12 is chaotic. It's beautifully chaotic because you just never know. Tried to lean in to what happened last year as if that was some indication. It hasn't been. I feel like at this point for the Big 12 for me, I'm leaning BYU.
Yeah, that's safe.
I mean, there's 2 or 3 teams I would feel okay taking, Texas Tech obviously being another one there. But I feel like BYU is just on a roll right now, and I like where they're headed.
Yeah, this weekend's going to tell you a lot because BYU plays Texas Tech.
Yep.
So, I mean, to me, the winner of that game is the winner of the Big 12.
And I mean, you may end up seeing them play each other again in the championship too, and then you get some of the narrative about, well, can you beat a team twice in a row, especially twice in the span of a month? We'll see. I don't want to talk about the SEC.
Who do you pick?
Because if you're new to the podcast, back in the preseason and for many weeks thereafter, I made some pretty bold claim stakes in LSU.
Yeah.
I felt like they were a dark horse candidate. I knew, obviously the Texas and the Alabamas were the favorites there. I felt like with a veteran quarterback and Nussmeier and a defense, I felt like LSU had everything in front of them to put together. And then here we are, and they don't have a head coach. So
things aged well.
We're gonna pivot. I would say at this point, I mean, A&M has to be the clear favorite here, right? I mean, I would accept Alabama as another answer there as well, but I feel like Texas A&M is just they're having a special season here. It seems like.
I said Texas to start the season was going to be my SEC winner, and they're starting to kind of come together. They had a great game this past weekend. Arch really looked pretty good, to be honest.
Are you sticking with that?
No.
Okay. Correct. No, you aren't.
No, I am not. I'm going to go Bama. I'm going to go Alabama. I just think those guys, since week 1, seem to have figured it out. They had a couple of close games here and there. And I know there's a ton of people that always get on the SEC for the SEC bias.
Which is fair.
Is valid. But that conference is pretty dang good as well. There are some dogs in that conference, and their schedule has also not been easy.
Yeah.
And so I'm going with Bama. I like Ty Simpson. I think they're starting to kind of click.
Well, and especially after the way we and everybody else buried them after week one. And again, this is, I'll just mention, and I think I may have mentioned this last week or a couple weeks ago. Alabama's real interesting because they're still going to get in the playoff if they drop another game here. But if you end up in a 9-3 scenario, you drop a game between now and the Iron Bowl and then you get upset by Auburn, that Auburn loss is going to look bad. That Florida State loss looks worse by the week. And so Alabama, they're probably pretty safe for the playoff at this point, unless. And so that's the beauty of college football. The ACC, I'm not even mad about this one. I took Clemson.
Yeah.
But I will also say a lot of the narrative around Clemson was this is a national championship team. This team is built for a deep playoff run. And I explicitly said, I'm going to take them for the ACC, but I don't like it. And I don't buy that they are a deep playoff team. Clearly, at least half of that was right. But Clemson certainly not winning the ACC or the Bad Boy Mowers Bowl at this point.
So who are you taking for it then? Do you have a replacement?
I think Georgia Tech. I think Georgia Tech is probably.
Duke?
Yeah.
Okay, I could get down with that.
I think Georgia Tech is probably a bit overrated. Like, is Georgia Tech really? Should they have been the 8th ranked team in the country? Probably not. But up until this weekend, they'd won all their games at that point. And so with Miami dropping another game, which. But with Miami,
kind of an insane end to that though. So I was walking out of the Horseshoe. This is a very relates to it, but it's a little bit of tangent. I was getting ready to walk out of the shoe on Saturday, and I always try to take my time just because traffic and everything. So I wasn't in a crazy rush. I sat down and I scoped through some of the games that had already ended, saw that the SMU Miami game was close. And the way that the Horseshoe press box is kind of set up is they almost have like a small little cafeteria that's just surrounded by TVs.
A little common area.
And I saw a handful of media personnel sitting there watching. And so I sat down and joined for like the next 20 minutes and watched the end of that game. And I don't remember the exact scenario because I was still just adrenaline coming down from Penn State. But the penalty that they called for roughing the passer or whatever that ended up setting up SMU to kick the game-tying field goal was just bananas all around. I don't think I've ever seen a game end like that.
You know what, though? It couldn't have happened to a team that's gotten more breaks from officiating than the Miami Hurricanes. But with all that to say, with Miami dropping a second game, I feel like Georgia Tech's still in good position here.
Yeah, I don't blame that. Who'd you pick for the G5?
Well, who'd you pick for the ACC?
Oh, I had Clemson.
Who do you have now, though?
Oh, I'm going to probably go Duke.
Okay. I should have just moved on to the G5.
You should have. It won't matter. Whoever makes it out of that's done.
The G5 I feel like is fascinating because I feel like last year, there was Boise State and who else? Was it Army that was like kind of in that until November? I feel like there were only like 2, maybe 3 really solid teams that had a legitimate chance that we were all kind of keeping an eye on. For the G5 right now, there's probably close to a half dozen that are trying to get in there. I know Navy dropped a game, but Navy's been part of the conversation.
Yeah.
Navy's been part of that. North Texas, James Madison, UNLV for a while,
How
Boise
amazing.
for a while. Memphis, South Florida. This is the one thing I will give the expanded playoff is that is a lot of fun. I took UNLV originally. UNLV's dropped a couple games since then. They're not going to be. I'm going to go with the obvious one would be Memphis, and I'm not doing that one. The other obvious one would be South Florida, and I won't do that one either. I love the idea of James Madison slipping their way in because here's my thought. My thought is that Indiana drops a game somewhere.
To Ohio State in the Big Ten Championship would be my preference.
I would not prefer that. But I'm just saying Indiana drops a game somewhere and ends up as the 5 seed and gets to host James Madison and Kurt Cignetti gets the storylines. Tell me the committee wouldn't purposely set it up that way.
That's who I'm picking. I had Boise in mind to start the year, and they've fallen off. They've dropped 3 games. They're not going anywhere. And so my next up, me, I'm going off just vibes. So give me James Madison, a Kurt Cignetti playoff matchup. is just peak to me.
None of these are going to happen, by the way.
No, not even a little bit.
The Rivalry Podcast is part of the Varsity Network from Learfield and the River Podcast Network from River Radio Ministries.
New episodes out every Monday.
Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you're listening right now, and follow on social media at RivalPod and RivalPod.com.
And if you like what you hear, share with a friend so they can listen too.